You did nothing to make God love you. Nada. In fact, you did nothing to deserve this wonderful love. So don't get a big head and think you are all that in a bag of chips to have done something to make God love you. Because frankly, as John says, we did not love God in the first place. We did not love God one bit. So therefore, there was nothing that we could do that would have made God love us. Because that's the part of being in love, isn't it? Love is reciprocating. You love somebody, they should be loving you back. But we didn't love God. For we were constantly grieving the heart of God. We were constantly breaking His heart. And when that happens, when you start breaking people's hearts, well, they don't love you anymore, right? They no longer love you, and so therefore they will not show you their love. Because nobody loves a person who is going out of their way to hurt you time and time again. And continually allow your heart to be stepped on and broken over and over and over again. So we must understand, as John says, that we had no love for God. We did not love God. There was no love from us to Him. We had cut our love off from God. We had alienated ourselves from Him. In fact, we were not on speaking terms with God. But the beautiful thing is, as John says in 1 John 4:19, that God first loved us. God first loved us. That the love we are experiencing from God, this wonderful gift that He is giving to us, which has been revealed through the giving of His one and only Son who has been born and placed in a manger, is not because of anything that we had done, but rather it was all done because of God first loved us. God loved us even though we constantly broke His heart. God still loved us even though He didn't approve of our character. God loved us and desired that our entire being will be made right with Him. He wanted to open the door for us to embrace His love and to be loved by Him. And so He chose to demonstrate His love for us and show us how much He loved us by, as what Paul says in Romans 5:8, that God demonstrated His own love for us in this, that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. While we were still sinning, while we no longer loved God, God loved us first, even when we were still breaking His heart. Even when we were still grieving His heart, God sent His Son into the world so that He might die for us and so we might be saved. And that is the point of God's great love, which has been revealed to us because of what He did, rather than what we did. God performed the ultimate act of love by sending His Son into the world for our sake. God knew exactly what we needed. God knew exactly what we needed to be shown that we were loved by Him. And so God's love sent as Christ into the world because He cared deeply for each and every one of us. For He was worried about the state in which we were in. And so He chose to do what He chose to do. which the writer of Hebrews says and sums it up perfectly in Hebrews chapter 2, verses 14 through 17. That since the children have flesh and blood, he too shared in their humanity, so that by his death he might break the power of him who holds the power of death, that is the devil, and free those who all live their lives held in slavery by their fear of death. For surely it is not angels he helps, but Abraham's descendants. For this reason, he had to be made like them, fully human in every way, in order that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest in service to God, that he might make the atonement for the sins of the people. So we had asked God, show us your love. Show us how much you love us, God. And he said, all right, I show you. I love you this much that I'm willing to send my son to take on flesh and blood, to come as one of you, to live as one of you, in order to die for you, so that the power of the devil, the power of death might be broken. I didn't come here for the sake of the angels or for my sake, but I came for you, Abraham's descendants. I came to be the atoning sacrifice for all people. This is my love. It is in my love that I am willing to do the greatest act of love by dying for another. It is by my love that I am sending myself into the world to break the power of death, to break the chains of sin, to be the atoning sacrifice. For I know exactly what you need, and I love you this much. It is because of what God has chosen to do and how he has chosen to show us his love. Love in which we did nothing to earn. That we can experience how much he truly loves each and every one of us. For he loved us even when we didn't do anything to motivate him. We didn't do anything to make him want to love us. Rather, he took it upon himself. And this is the transcendent love of God. This is the agape love. Love that is unconditional. Love that does not set terms, does not set limits, does not set conditions or stipulations. For there is nothing that we did, because God first loved us. So we didn't have to meet any set of conditions for God. Rather, it is the very nature of God to love us. And so therefore we know that we are loved because God has done this.